I want you guys to meet two women in my life that have become friends, but also people that I look up to, aspire to, and that have built what I would call an iconic brand. And I can truly say that because there's not many beauty companies, and you guys can do this exercise with me, actually go back and see how long they've been around, and they've been able to innovate every single time. So today in the studio, I actually have founders of Vasanti Cosmetics. You've probably seen them at almost every Shoppers Drug Mart location you can possibly find. Their packages are beautiful, timeless beauty, and addictive products. And we're going to talk about that today. In today's episode, we're sitting down with a woman who founded Vasanti Cosmetics almost 20 years ago. Is that right? Almost 20 years
26?
28?
Wow.
27. Oh my God.
Okay, so a long time ago, guys, before, and I want to point out, before inclusivity, before South Asian was actually a thing, these women were actually pioneers. These were all buzzwords that we hear in everyday marketing. But remember when marketing wasn't around, these were things that they were actually doing, and their products reflect that. They create high performance skincare, makeup for women with diverse undertones, real life concerns. That's how big and reputable beauty brands start, when they actually care about what problem they're solving. And these women have done that. They're a cult favorite. And I would say my favorite is the under eye color corrector. If you don't have it, you need to go run and buy it because it's life changing. I cannot leave literally every single day without that product. It represents not only and we're going to talk about the story and how this came about, but brown girls, under eyes, you know, the whole shebang. But this product not only solves it, but it really represents community and resilience. And I think through that product. So today we're talking about their story, how they've survived in an ever-changing beauty landscape, what keeps them innovating, and why Vasanti has changed the South Asian beauty narrative. And I must say forever. So welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
What
That's
an
such a beautiful
introduction.
I know. How was that? Did I do a good job?
Oh my gosh, you're amazing.
So I want to ask you guys, first of all, I've known you for so long. When you think about your business from what it was 20 years ago and where it is today, what is like the first few thoughts that come to mind rushing when you two are having dinner, okay, having a glass of wine, no one is around. What does it feel like? And then I'll ask you that to both of you. Either one of you can start.
I was like, we did it.
Yeah, we're still here. I know when we started, I thought 5 years, done. It'll be done. I don't know. Just, like, do it for a little bit, see how it goes, and then we'll be done.
And
right?
here we are, like
Yeah.
28 years later. Does it feel like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 28 years?
Yes.
That's why I
flew
think
by.
we don't even remember how long it's been because it's been such a labor of love. Like for me, I was like, I didn't think about the 5 years for sure because I think like it was like such a passion for me, is like to bring out products. And I was so into in the lab and wanting to come out with the best products because I couldn't find them, right? That's the number one reason.
Well, I was going to say at that time to innovate, because right now you can get inspired by a beauty founder and be like, oh, I want to create a product. But at that time when there was no one there, when there was the Estee Lauders of the world, what made you be like, okay, I'm going to start a brand, but not only a brand, but a brand focused on South Asians when there was no representation? It would probably be the most challenging industry or sector to represent. Why did you do that?
Well, I'll tell you the story of why.
Tell me the story. We want to know.
Just quickly, it's basically right out of university. I wanted to land my first job, and it was at this high-end makeup and skincare studio. And I was so excited to meet the founder and this entrepreneur that's bringing out, these products out there. So imagine I'm like waiting to meet this amazing woman. She walks in, she takes one look at me, and she's like, get some concealer on her, and keeps walking to her office. The makeup artists rush over to me and they put on like the deepest concealer they have. And
Did they even have the shade?
No, it looks white under my eyes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had dark under eyes. I have to fit this beauty norm, and it was just like, whoa. I called up Monal and I'm like, can you believe what just happened? We need to do something. That night I went out looking for a concealer that would match my skin tone. And of course, everything looked heavy, cakey. Like it just,
Did you feel like, first of all, were you offended? Like, how did you feel when someone did that? Or were you like, oh, she's like the beauty queen?
Yeah.
And
do you know what? I have to say, I was kind of like more shocked.
Okay.
And I felt like, oh my gosh, what do I have to do to make sure that I fit the role? Because I think that growing up, it's almost like we had to fit in. And I think that's a big change now. You don't have to fit in. You get to you have your choice of different brands that can cater to your skin, and it made me feel like, oh man, I don't fit in. So what do I have to do to make
And
sure
you didn't
I
think
do?
about like, it's okay to not fit in. You just said,
Oh,
okay,
I gotta do it.
how do I fit in versus like, let me
Absolutely.
not fit in.
Yeah.
100%. I was like, okay, I'm going to go and fit in.
Yeah. Let me go find the concealer and do what she
Yeah.
said.
And I think that's kind of like when we started talking and we found that, makeup doesn't look good on our skin, or like, I think Mono always
Yeah.
had that idea.
I never wore makeup. I had one lipstick from Estee Lauder and then one lipstick from MAC, and that was all I
Really?
had
Yeah.
until Vasanti came along. And for me, it was just like, makeup doesn't look good on me, so I'm not going to wear it. And it never occurred to me that it was the makeup. I just thought, oh, it's my face. It's not suitable for makeup.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, we can have this conversation being South Asians, going back to the early dates of brides looking like white,
Faces.
literally
Different
white. But like at that time, that's why I'm curious. At that time when brides were looking white and there's Estee Lauder in the market and there's not even a concept to like, oh, I should find my shade. It's like, let me just buy this shade because it fits. Was that one conversation of what she said, the driver to, I'm going to go create a beauty brand? Or was it, what was the...
Well, it came out saying, hey, we had to do something. I moved back home and I was like obsessed with this idea of, hey, how come makeup is not working under my eyes? I can't find anything that looks natural or feels natural. So I was willing to do anything at that point. So I landed a job at a cosmetics lab. And I was lucky enough, I was like one of those people that I will do anything, teach me. And the owner of that business took me into the lab. And she's like, okay, she gave me a color test and I was in. So, I worked with the chemist and she showed me all the ingredients that go into a makeup. And I can see there's this titanium dioxide that looks like white chalk. And I was like, oh, I see why this doesn't work for me. And it just kind of blew my mind and it inspired me to say, okay, you know what? This is something we could do. We could bring something that can work for our skin tone. So that's where the idea started.
Okay, from the
Yeah.
time that woman told you,
Yes.
go put on concealer, to the time of, I think I want to do something with this. What was that time period?
So it would probably be about 6 months. So I got a job in the lab. After that conversation, I moved back. I got a job and I kept calling Mono.
Yeah, I was like, when did you call Mona? Was it like throughout?
Yeah, it was like 6 months after, and then maybe
Then
a
when
year.
you came back, and then a year or so
Yeah,
afterwards.
and then I was
we
like,
were
kept calling her.
let's do
Hey,
this.
Mono, let's do this something. Let's, we could bring out something. And then she's basically,
Yeah,
know what?
Mona, what were
let's-
your thoughts
Yeah.
when she was saying that to you?
Well, to me, I thought she wanted to open up like a makeup studio, women doing makeovers and having coffee. That's the vision I had, right? And I'm like, oh yeah,
You didn't think she was talking about like, let's start a beauty
No,
brand?
then she kept talking about it, and I was just like, one day I was just like, okay, if you're serious, let's do it. Makeup. I know a little bit about business, right?
Yeah. What were you
Together
doing
we're-
at that time?
So I was the controller at the docks.
The
It's the Rebel. It's Rebel now, I think. But it
What
was
is
the
it now?
docks.
It is Rebel.
Rebel, but
yeah.
that was
Good times.
yeah. I actually helped the owner there, helped him build that place.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so
I know a thing or two about business.
well, like
Exactly.
startups and whatnot,
Yeah.
just was really always worked for more like a startup type company. So kind of knew a few things, obviously not everything.
And
but
were you guys in your 20s at this time?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So, Pinky, were you going towards the beauty route at that time?
No, not at
like
all.
landing. What were you gonna do?
Actually, I wanted to become a child psychologist. And quickly
Wow.
switched gears. You know what? It was kind of like something like I did my cousin's makeup,
Yeah.
like literally eyeliner makeup and lipstick. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this is kind of fun. So it was kind of like, oh, I need to do something. I need to work. And I got this job, and that's kind of like it started everything. It was kind of like not even thinking that this was going to be anything to do with a career path, you know. But in some way, I feel like we have this entrepreneur spirit in us. Both our parents were entrepreneurs, and always made it very comfortable for us to say, "Hey, take a risk, invest in yourself, follow your passion." You know, we had the fallback to go home, you know, and they encouraged us to follow our dreams. You know, one of the things my dad said was, hey, you know what? Go to university and then you could do whatever you want. You know, you have something that you can fall back on.
Yeah.
So we were like,
You took the risk.
yeah,
Here
and we're
we
just
are.
kind of like,
Yeah.
didn't even think of it like that, but it was, you know.
So when you got the job and you
Yes.
were doing the product development, at that time was it concrete that okay, we're gonna start something and we're gonna create a product or a beauty company? What was that looking like at that time?
I think after we decided
Yeah.
that,
Then we just went.
let's do this, then we knew. We actually worked on a concept for a year and a half. Just what were the first products? What, you know, I remember we were designing a lipstick case forever, which never came to fruition. But then at one point it was just like, we need some products. So we got some products from where Pinky was working just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those things are in the line today. But
What was it?
helped.
What was the first-
Well, it was
Eyeliner, a cream eyeshadow.
it was lips pencils,
lip
cream
pencils,
eyeshadows, and lip gloss
All the things that are in now.
that are
Well-
in now. But we didn't. None of those particular things are part of our brand.
Yes. But I mean,
anymore.
like funny how like
Yeah.
if you look back at what
Yeah.
was in makeup
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what it is now,
yeah.
cream blush, lip
Yep.
gloss,
Absolutely.
repeats itself. Yeah.
So it was just, but that just helped. Like I said, get
it
the
going.
ball rolling. And then one of the first innovative products that we launched were our face base.
Well, the first product
And the
was the
concealer.
concealer. So the thing is, when I went into the lab and I looked at concealer formulas, it comes up, you know, the color corrector is made up of 4 pigments.
Okay,
Right.
let me just tell you guys before, let's rewind back, okay? So their cult favorite product is the Liquid VO2, which is an under eye color corrector made specifically for, I don't want to just say brown girls. I know it was the thought process, but what would you say made specifically for?
For counteracting dark circles. So it's using color theory to color correct the dark under eye. So that way, when you put on your concealer, you don't see gray through.
Yeah, it blows my mind now that we're having this conversation like face to face here versus like in the business when we usually chat. There was no orange, guys, at that time. There was
exactly.
no such thing as color correcting. How innovative for you to think of that.
So it actually came out by trial and error because I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of these dark circles. So I was like, okay, ratioing out those pigments. So being in the lab and playing with the colors to get the color, it came out to our peachy orange. So if you see other people, they just make a straight orange. That could be good for makeup artists and that kind of thing. For an everyday person like me that wanted to just cover, we made that peachy orange. So it looked more natural. And we started going to trade shows and trying them on a range of skin tones, not just mine. And we saw, wow, it really works. People can even wear this alone. So it was kind of
What
like...
is color correcting?
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. It's like if you take a look at balancing out your skin tone. So your skin tone it consists of red, yellow, white, and black. If you mix that up, it kind of comes out to a beige, a deep brown. Like it's like the whole spectrum of colors. And that's how you get foundation colors. It's the same concept. So with this particular, we needed something to color correct, meaning
Literally.
balance out on the skin versus balancing it on, in a liquid, for example. So that's why we pulled more of the orange to be able to make this look like brown or beige. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't know if
genius. No, that
Yeah.
it does.
So kind of stumbled upon it,
Yeah.
and it turned out to be an orange. We never called it like a orange color corrector. We did because we called it orange, and we
Well,
had
it was the O, right?
the orange color. But it's kind of like an invention made out of a problem, and I feel like the roots and the innovation that we build it comes from that. It's like, okay, what's the everyday problem? I don't want makeup to feel like makeup. I don't want a sunscreen to look ashy. Like, but I still want it natural, So it's kind of like always stems from that problem.
What was the early journey like getting this product? And then I don't know what you launched after, but when you had those 3-4 products, kind of, we're going to do this, we're going to launch this. What did that process look like? Because you guys were in Shoppers. I remember being 18, walking down the aisle and seeing you guys and being like, holy fuck, like, I can't believe there's brown girl products in Shoppers Drug Mart. I was stunned. I was like the biggest fan, and I can't believe I'm sitting across you guys now. But it's what a full circle moment. But like, I don't even think inspiring is the right word. Truly, like groundbreaking. I feel like to see at that time that there was representation out there. So can you talk to me a little bit about the South Asian representation and what that journey looked like getting into a store?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
I think before we got into the store, we actually had our own stores. So, and one of them happened to be in Fairview Mall, where there's a Shoppers, which is closest to head office Shoppers too. So I think somebody at Shoppers kind of was keeping an eye on us. But sorry, that was like, we had our own stores for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. It was called Vasanti?
Vasanti. So we had, first we did a custom kiosk in Fairview Mall, and then we moved in line into an actual store. And then we did that in Bramley City Center, and we did it in Vaughan Mills when Vaughan Mills opened. We had 80 feet. You could see Vasanti 80 feet across. We had this. So our leasing manager from Fairview went to Vaughan Mills, and she called me up, and she's like, we don't have, we have empty space. We need to fill it. So will you come? And I'm like, my products are tiny, right? Like, how are you going to fill a massive store like that? So they were like, we will, we'll make it smaller, but you'll still have 80 feet across, right? So,
What did you fill in?
well, we
Displays.
got counters made and whatnot, right?
And we closed off.
They made it shorter. It didn't go as deep. I think it's a big store right now, but we still had Vasanti across 80 feet, which was amazing. So you walked in, boom,
That's so
there we
incredible.
were.
What a journey. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from just, brand innovation now straight to website and socials to look back to be like, wow, we started here. Then we went to retail. So how many stores did you have at that time?
So we had 3 stores, and you mentioned a website. We actually launched our first website in 1999. And, people used to call us to give us their credit card because they didn't want to put it into the internet. Right? And we used to punch it into the machine. That's how far we've come. So,
wow.
yeah, it's just amazing. When we think about
Oh my
that.
God. Okay, so you're in the stores, and then when does the transition happen to shop? Wait, was that going straight up? Were you like, oh my God, we're in stores where people obviously expanding, people are coming, finding their products?
Yeah, the people are coming, they're finding our products. We were doing a lot of trade shows as well. We would do all the South Asian bridal shows, and we'd have people lined up 5 deep just to get, a makeover done by us. And some people are like, I come every year just for you guys, right?
And for that concealer.
For the concealer, like O2 and some other shades that were very popular back then.
Am I taking you guys back there?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, this is so nostalgic.
No, it's nostalgic for me too, because I remember this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens?
So then,
yes.
So then I think it was around 2006. One of the associate owners, an associate owner was kind of keeping tabs on us, and he called me up one day, and he's like, Shoppers has a new CEO, and their mandate is to cater to more diverse clientele. He's like, I think this is a great time for you guys to get in. And he's like, send me all your stuff, whatever you have, any collateral, I'm going to submit it to the buyer. And we're like, okay, let's do this, right? And it was great to have that in, right? Because we actually did submit all of our stuff a year before, and we got a polite no thank you, right? So, the stars were aligned for us. And, really, it was incredible that Shoppers had this mandate. And this was 18 years ago. when no other, retailer was like, we need to focus on
Ahead of
on
their
diversity. They were so ahead of the curve. Like this is only like 5 years ago that beauty retailers are now bringing in brands that cater to diverse clientele, right? Shoppers was ahead of the curve. So
the vision at that time to be able to
exactly.
see that there's a market for that. And at that time, Toronto was also seeing a huge immigration boom, like the South Asian boom at that time. Immigrant families were coming in. Immigration was, we were all here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they also changed the beauty landscape in this country, right? Like back then, it was a little bit before then, but you only went to the department store to get the prestige makeup, the more luxury brands, and they kind of really innovated. So for us, we were just like, this makes so much sense because there's a Shoppers on every corner.
Yeah.
At every community, there's a Shoppers Drug Mart. So the accessibility was super exciting for us. So we were just like, yes.
But also, were you guys like, oh my God, we're in Shoppers Drug Mart?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Because there was no Sephora at that time. So it's like,
yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just like, we submitted, we had our meeting. Pinky was pregnant out to here with her son. And like literally 2-3 weeks later, we got a call saying, you're in. We're going to pilot you in 3 stores. And Fairview Mall was one of those stores.
Did you have, because you had the retail stores, were you prepared for the inventory, the moving into the Shoppers, or no? Was it like nothing, no one ever prepared you for what was coming?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Well, because they piloted us in 3 stores, we were okay.
Yeah.
But, like we had to start ramping up.
Yeah.
So we were just like, oh my God, like we need to raise these minimums. And it was just like, okay, are we going to be able to handle this?
Yes.
But, we managed.
Yeah.
All self-funded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
self-funded.
that's something to talk about because nowadays I feel like founders are just like, here, let me just go get an investor. But what would you say is something that came out of being self-funded at that time and even up until now?
Well, I guess,
Control.
Yeah, we get to do
what
it our
we
way.
want to do.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
We get
freedom.
to come out with the products we want to
Want to,
launch,
yes.
right? That we really believe in. And it's not just, obviously bottom line matters, but, it's not just about paying back an investment, right? It's about, like, Pinky will probably get into it. We spent 5 years working on a mineral sunscreen, right? Like, I don't think you can spend that much time. Actually, one of the girls at one of these events, she was just like, thank you so much. Like, it just goes to show that you guys don't want to just put out anything. Like, you actually care about what you're putting out. And it's true, we do. Like, we don't just put out anything. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the things we say, like, sisters.
That's right. They tell the truth.
We're like, no, this is not
not
gonna
good.
work. This is no good, right? Like, we just tell it like it is, right?
That's the beauty of
Yeah.
You
being
guys
in
were
a
also
partnership.
launching the brand for South Asians at that time, right? When there was really a need. And also it wasn't glorified like it is today just for publicity. It wasn't a play to do for marketing. It was like,
Exactly.
we're doing this because we see a need.
Yeah.
How did consumers, clients react to that? And did your other products after that come through that lens of South Asian, helping solving that need and that diversity pool?
Well, I think that when we first started, of course, it was to say, hey, we need products for our skin tone. But we quickly understood that everybody that we were talking to, we had a lot of Caucasian friends, like, all different skin tones. And they're like, no, it's not just the color. It's not a color shade thing. It's about how makeup feels on me, how it works with my skin. We launched our eye cream. And one of the ways that we developed it, I was like, okay, well, there's so many eye creams out there. Why isn't it working? Like, and, the research that we went through, we talked to, physicians, we talked to chemists, like we talked to everybody that knew anything about why we have dark circles. And then we had active ingredients to combat each one. And then it quickly became one of the top sellers, in Shoppers because we had a larger fill. So we weren't so concerned about, the rules of the cosmetic industry. Have a little 15 ml and, they're going to replenish it faster. We didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yes, we should have maybe. And that's maybe part of our naivety, like to actually launch something that we needed versus just making money. And I think that that there's something said about that to say, hey, it has to work. And that's why we've been kind of like a product forward company versus an overall brand, like, so that's something that we've had to work on.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think it's something that I think someone listening that's looking to find or find their next company, a beauty company, or founders looking to start something, like, do it for what you need to solve versus doing it for, like you mentioned, like, it's not just a trend. You can't do this for 20, 30 years if it's just cool. You need to do it because you're really deeply moved by it, which obviously you guys have. And I was going to get into product innovation, right? You guys have been innovating for the last 25 years. Like, how does that feel unfiltered? Like, is it exhausting? Is it exciting? Is it like, where do we go from here? Because lasting in a beauty industry that's ever changing, and especially now with creators and new young founders, how does that feel?
To be
Break
honest,
it down.
for me, like, that's the easiest part.
Okay.
So from that perspective, I was like, I love it. Like, the passion is still fire, and that's not to say that we've had tons of products that failed. So you know what, to have a partner that, is okay with that, to be able to ride that wave. We've struggled with it, of course, because you know what, like you said, we're ahead of the trends in so many ways, and then it was popularized, and it's but we're like, we didn't have the volume to sell through, and we had to discontinue, and that's a lot of money. So the financial risk that's associated with the passion is very much a balancing act, and a lot of grit in the partnership. So I always thank her for that.
You need two to tango, and that dream team really makes it last. So when it comes to struggles and challenges, what are some things that, Vasanti, at which point during your 26 years were the big highs and some of the low lows? If you were to look back, what does that look like, and when was it?
Well, obviously, big high getting into Shoppers, and growing with them over these past 18 years.
Because we're at how many stores now?
Like, we're at 315 and growing. We're probably, I'm saying we're getting probably another 50 this year.
You guys can't see me, but I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
So, just, and having them as a partner, and having, knowing that they're behind us and they believe in us, that's a big, big high for us. So lows, geez, do we want to replay all that?
But some challenges, I think, that are important for...
obviously the constraints of running a business that's fully funded by yourself. It's extremely challenging, and there are days you're just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? You always feel that pressure, right? Of you've got people to employ, you've got products you need to launch and whatnot. So those can be, it can be very challenging, but also
what kept
what kept us going is knowing that we had something really great. Okay. And it wasn't just from us. It's that feedback from the client. It's like, we didn't really even focus on marketing until about 8 to 10 years ago, right? Before then, like, we thought making a little sign was marketing, right? Yeah. Putting it on the display. We didn't, because we're not marketers. Yeah. So it was something that, knowing that we didn't actually put tons of money, we didn't put any money behind marketing, and we were still able to grow in stores and, get the word out. So that was all word of mouth. So that was just like,
that's incredible.
Now
you can't give up.
We should.
Yeah. So when we look back at that now, we're like, wow, that's amazing. That the fact that we're still here and we're still relevant, like,
definitely. Like, we want to talk about that.
Yeah. We launched an orange concealer 26 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still relevant, and it's our number one selling product.
That is true.
Right? And we won an award for it
2 years in a row.
In Fashion Magazine.
Yeah. So, as best concealer.
And then, and the concealer
I can vouch for that. It is truly one of the most, not just the best, but like a game changer.
Yeah.
It changed the industry. I think do you find a lot of brands drew inspiration from this concealer and from seeing a South Asian brand? Because I feel like pioneering the South Asian and diverse brand category, and then inspiring other brands to do that as well, is what you guys are able to do.
Like,
Thank you.
absolutely. I think a lot of brands have probably been inspired by that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of the things we've said is like, finally, you know what? We're so happy that people have choices. You know what? There's
Yeah.
so many brands, and we welcomed it. And we've actually supported a lot of growing brands, and that's part of who we are.
Yeah.
We've had the benefit of our sisterhood and, you know, the support and lifting each other up. And just like how what you're doing with empowering women on this scale, like, I love it. Like, and that's what we've tried to do. So we love the competition, but like, you know,
And
but at the
okay,
same
talk
time,
to me about now. Where is Vasanti now? You guys have gone through not just a rebrand, but staying again relevant and constantly innovating your categories and products. Talk to me about the rebrand, because I want to hear about that. I feel honored that I was a little piece of that rebrand, but it's beautiful to see from where you were to where you've come. And where is the brand now? When you look at Vasanti 26 years ago versus now, is there a difference? And where is it now?
Absolutely, there's a difference. I mean, some products are still in the line from that many years ago, Face Base, the concealer. But I think there's a more cohesive vision and an alignment, right? I think 26 years ago, we were just starting out. We didn't know much, right? We were just figuring it out as we go. And, you know, like I said earlier, I thought we would be done in 5 years. So we weren't looking to build, well,
Pinky was.
Some of us were just like, how can I help?
And
move
that's
on?
the reality of it,
Right?
right? Because you're like doing something new for the first time. And you're like, I don't know. We'll see where it takes us.
Where it goes. So I think just the thought that goes into even what we launch, I think it's changed a lot. We don't feel the need to just jump on every trend bandwagon, right? Like, does it fit our line? Does it meet our customers' needs, the people that we're trying to, you know, reach out to? Does it hit those points? And then we're like, okay, and then how do we come out with something and put our unique twist on it, right? So it's definitely, it's different than before, for sure.
And I think being relevant, I think that the sheer number of years of experience, like, I have tried more product than, I don't know, you know, so competitively, like, I see what keeps coming out there, but there's this foundation of being in the lab, seeing ingredients, knowing how they work, what they'll do for you, how they work on the skin. These fundamental things, like, it keeps pushing innovation, and the industry is becoming innovation. Why did it take us 5 years to come up with an amazing sunscreen?
Why?
You know, and with all the technology and with the million sunscreens out there, because the technology in raw materials is constantly changing as well. So being, you know, with the time of what's happening and not being satisfied with what is, like, I don't want to, you know, sacrifice ashiness on the skin to come up with a sunscreen. You know, even though I know we need it, I didn't want to launch a chemical sunscreen. I wanted to launch a mineral sunscreen. So these are things that are at the core that keep us relevant, because we know these raw material suppliers, we know the industry so well that we're able to have these, you know, find moves that make our product better. How did we win, you know, in such a competitive space, awards 2 years in a row for one product? And we launched a high coverage concealer after every brand has launched a high coverage concealer and still won. Like, it's really amazing. Like, I love that. Like, that's so rewarding.
I think it goes back to, how do we make it unique and different? And I think, you know, Pinky does a great job, because she has that product development expertise side. Like, you know, the sunscreen, like, one of the other things, what makes it very unique is that not only does it protect, it also treats existing dark spots, right? Like, what other sunscreen do you know? There'll probably be more now, Pinky. But what other sunscreens do you know that do that, right? Even like the high coverage concealer, like, one of the things, the feedback that, you know, from trying everything and knowing what's out there is like, it's cakey, it's drying, right?
Yes and yes.
And ours is not like that.
Yes.
Right? Like that was
Looks like real skin.
again, that formula took about 2-3 years too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So is the average formulation taking 2 to 3 years because of what, like, because you want it to be performative, but you also want it to make sure you're taking your time?
It depends.
Okay.
You know, some I can bang out in 3 months. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about that. I think it's when it fits, it fits. If it works, it works, you know? And then we do all the testing, the, you know, efficacy, like all that kind of work goes into that timeline.
Yeah.
But I think overall, it's like, if it's not working, it's not good enough. That's our kind of like feeling. Even a matte lipstick. People are like, okay, that matte lipstick pencil that we have.
Matte Crush.
Matte Crush, how is it creamy? How does it stay put?
Yeah,
How does it
staple.
still feel so good? You know, it's these little details that I feel like we pride ourselves in having that detail.
I forgot to ask this question earlier. I should have asked this question in like the sequence of when we first started. My question is, Vasanti, such a bold name. What is the meaning? How did you come up with it? And what is the ethos now behind the brand? Because I know as you evolve, as you change, you learn, you develop, you cater to different audiences and whatnot. So where does that take you now?
The name means of spring or spring-like in Hindi or Sanskrit. It was supposed to be Pinky's name. Her name is actually Pinky. It's not Vasant, and it's Vasanti.
Vasanti.
Like pronounced in
Yes,
Gujarati.
I can say it.
Yeah,
We can say it.
but
That was supposed to be your name?
it was supposed to be
my
her
name.
name. And when so in our culture, your dad's sister gets to name you. Her dad's sister lived in England, still does. She wrote a letter, mailed it, and it arrived about 3 weeks late. So Pinky went on her birth certificate. And then when we were little, we used to tease her. We're like, your name's not Pinky, it's Vasanti, right? And she was like, stop calling me that. One day, this was on the phone. I clearly remember. She's like, I have a name for the company. And like, I have to do it. It's like Vasanti. Because when she said it, it was just like Vasanti. That's how it was in my head. So to me, it sounded like, I'm like, wow, this is great because it sounds European, right? Like
Vasanti,
a
you said.
non-Indian,
Yeah.
non-South Asian is not going to know what it
Yeah.
is. It sounds very European. And then a South Asian or Indian person might be like, hey, this could be something for me, right? And so we're like, the name, for us, the name was perfect. So, and I think, yeah, fresh new beginnings is kind of like what Upspring means to us. But I think now, like the brand ethos, and we've been talking a lot about this just now. And one of the places we landed was kind of like accessible beauty, right? Like we want it to be accessible, from where do you buy it from to what's like, is it good for me ingredients to pricing too, like, you know, affordable luxury or that kind of, that's where
It's
we're
relatable.
landing.
It's
Yeah.
everyday.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
gives to me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I feel like I'm not far off and I can go in and get something
Yeah.
and it feels like me.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. I love that. It feels like me.
Yeah.
Love it. Quick little story to add on to the name. So I was just thinking, it just came to me because, you know, everybody's talking about like the manifestation and thinking about
I
that.
remember the story.
And oh my
I know
gosh.
exactly what story she's going to tell.
Of course you do. You've been together for 28 years.
I'm sure I could tell you the story.
But it's so funny. When I was 13, I wrote an autobiography. You know, you do one of these school projects. So I had this all laid out, and I'm like, my name is going to be a household name.
Yeah.
You wrote that?
I wrote that in my autobiography, like of what my future plans and dreams are, and I guess that I just
That
had that in me.
manifested.
It
Do you
manifested.
have that letter still?
Do you know what?
You should frame that, Pinky.
Okay, before
Put it in the head office.
before smartphones, we don't even have a picture of that Von Mills.
Yeah. we don't even-
You can't get it from anywhere?
Oh, I know.
I think we found something
Yeah.
somewhere, but it's
But I have to find it. But do
Yeah.
you know what? My sister read it out of my at my wedding, but it was
Yes,
funny.
yeah.
But I was like, oh my gosh, I really manifested
Wow,
this.
you really did. How do you guys feel about being like manifesting this name to the company, to seeing all the seasons, all of this, seeing the new founders? Like, how does social media and marketing feel to you guys? Like, honestly, because I'm, if okay, you guys
Can I
just
tell you
laughing.
honest- it's
No, tell us
overwhelming.
the
Yeah.
truth
It's
because
overwhelming.
look, there's women listening, and I think like inspiration comes in many forms, and the biggest form it comes with is truth and honesty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to know the struggles of building a beauty brand now versus what it was before. So like, talk to me. What does that feel like, and
It's
how?
a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not natural for me.
Yeah.
It's not, I think like I'm a pretty private person. And even though I'm social and I'd love to take pictures, it just doesn't come naturally to me. And it's like actually, it could probably be more work than running the business.
I was gonna say,
That's how
right?
it feels.
Yeah, being in like the actual business versus
Yeah.
having to not pretend, but like do this whole other part that didn't exist before is challenging.
Yeah.
And I think it can seem like it's something online, but it's a totally different reality
Yes.
on the back end, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to know, what does that process feel like? What are some things that have really spearheaded the new product launch and the new Vasanti? What has that been like for the last, how long has it been? 2 years since last year?
For the relaunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think like social media and that kind of thing, like honestly, I love it. I love it for what it's been able to do for our brand. Even though we're not savvy and it doesn't come naturally.
But you've gone from being you actually have both. You have shelf and you have digital, and
Yes.
you've been able to convert that. That's a huge
Absolutely.
win.
Absolutely. Actually, the color corrector, it would not be as popular as it
Right.
is
Without social
unless
media.
we had the social media presence and people being able to see the before and afters. Like that has been a game changer for us, for our business. So, as much as like we're not natural, it's like we love that people that are using it and able to show
It's
how
accessibility.
amazing it is. That's amazing. Yes. It's
Accessibility.
absolutely.
Okay, talk to me about the rebrand and the relaunch. Talk to me about products. I want to know, what are your like top 3 products that you're recommending to a woman listening, and tell me all about it.
I think you've already heard about the color corrector.
Yes, I think we
That
have.
is,
But we have a few here for those
Yeah.
of you that are watching on video.
So because of the VO2 success,
You grab
Orange
it,
was our first. So actually this year, we've launched the peach and a deeper one, just from popular demand. Because we just, same philosophy, how it really, like for a deeper chin, you have some color correction. So it's a little deeper, but still very wearable and not something that you would have to cover up after. And of course,
Can you grab it again? The
Oh, sorry. The sun's.
For those of you listening, we're just grabbing our products, okay?
So my absolute favorite, I use it every day.
Me too.
Yeah, it's up to you how often you want to use this, but it's an exfoliating scrub, physical and chemical exfoliator in one. Again, we like to put our unique twist on everything. So we've just, I don't know, I can't live without it. So that's all I have to say.
That's
about
your
this. This
favorite?
is my
Piggy, what was your
number one.
favorite?
VO2
The
first.
liquid VO2.
Yeah.
I think like with this Brighten Up, I think it was so unique because we took a functional approach. Like there's chemical sunscreens out there, there's physical. We were like, you should have it all.
Yeah.
And able to do the chemistry to be able to function together, but still make it gentle. So you have the exfoliation without the rough feel and without the plastic beads. So we were way ahead. And it's 99% natural. So that's some of our philosophies.
Yeah, your skincare line is amazing. And I know we're going to see some more products.
This is what I use every day.
Tell me what it is. We need to make sure the listeners hear.
2.0 cooling ceramic tip, so it helps with depuffing and whatnot, just a little bit on the eyes and then, spread it out. I use this every day, wash with that. And then after I put this on, a few drops of this on the hand, let it dry.
That's every day?
every day. And this is, Pinky, you can explain the product
Yes.
better than I can.
So Tone Up, like this
She's
is
the
such
marketer.
I'm telling you, I love listening to her talk about it. But no, really, again, very super active. Like we do not skimp on active ingredients. I think when you think of a toner, we actually made it like a toner and essence in one. So it not only has the tightening of the pores, it also helps even out the complexion. So all of our products, like our approach to anti-aging is actually brightening the skin. So, and of course, anti-wrinkle, but the number one is brightening. So the way we make our skincare is that it doesn't matter what product you're using. Every component has a brightening. So you'll see results of glowing skin throughout. So we have a mild exfoliation in the Tone Up that you actually leave on, and it hydrates your skin. So a lot of the toners in the market in the past were astringent. So they tighten pores and tighten your skin, but they're drying out your skin at the same time. So we do a balancing act of skin that way, and we actually develop for sensitive skin. So that's another layer of it.
Yeah, I also want to talk about anti-aging, right?
Yes.
So women that are in their 30s and 40s, what should they be using right now to really combat that anti-aging? Are there any ingredients specifically that you recommend that are in your products? Because we've got a big lineup, but what would you say?
So I think number one is hydration. So as you age, you have to hydrate. So actually, will you show the Best of Youth? It's kind of my favorite product that I can't live without. It's basically the moisturizer that is rich enough but doesn't feel heavy. So it's hydrating your skin to what you need. Has the hyaluronic, the collagen boosting.
I use it.
The protein.
So
Yes,
good.
it's so.
I know I use every product.
But it really is a great skin barrier. So what you're trying to do is try not to irritate your skin. So it's kind of like doing that whole don't scratch your skin. It'll leave scars.
Yeah.
These are harder things to recover from. And again, active ingredients to brighten any dark spots, things like that. So it's all built in.
So moisturize. So for going back to like
Hydration.
anti-aging tips, moisturize that
Best of Youth,
Best of Youth moisturizer. What else would you recommend in terms of tips for anti-aging?
anti-aging. Continue with a full regime of
Okay.
hydration. And a tip is go from your thinnest products to the thickest products.
Okay. So what should
that's
we be starting with
putting on.
first?
So you exfoliate in the shower.
Okay.
You come out, you do a toner.
Okay.
We have
Wanna hold it up.
a
Toner.
niacinamide serum that is spectacular. So
Okay. Talk to me about the niacinamide
So
serum.
nice-
By the way, I
Niacinamide.
use this now every
Okay.
day.
Yes. So niacinamide. So it's a miracle ingredient. So we have it at 5%. Plus we have a tranexamic acid. We have a hyaluronic. We have vitamin C. So we load it up.
What does it do?
So what it does is it helps even out the complexion. It helps with anti-aging. It helps with priming your face. It's like a super active anti-ager, evening out complexion, all of it.
Just don't ask questions. Just put it on.
But this is what
That's
it is.
what that
It's
is.
like
Just use it.
pretty much so, and it's thin enough, like a serum, right? So
Okay.
it is thin enough. So you out of the shower, toner, serum,
Got it. That's step 3. Okay.
hydration, so a moisturizer.
Okay.
And it's not sticky like a lot of niacinamide.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And should I be doing this, or someone listening be doing this every morning and every night, or is the nighttime routine a little bit different?
Could go a little bit heavier serum at night. I have when I turned 40,
Yes.
I
Speak
made
to
a
me.
selfish product.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to make the most potent formula out there. And it was like before hyaluronic was a trend, it was like loaded with everything to boost your natural hyaluronic. Plus, it has all these active.
Which one is
it's
that?
14 active ingredients. Age is only a number.
Yes. I love that one.
So it's like basically
Slow
you put it
boosting
on.
and
You do
age
use
is
them
just
all.
that one. Those two are my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So age is only a number. You put it on, you slather it on, and then in the morning, even if you feel your skin, you can feel the bounce in your skin. Like you'll see it within one day.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Okay. Let's move over
Yes.
to makeup because I know I want to ask
we
you
can
guys a
talk
couple
about
more
products
questions.
forever.
So what I would love to know is give a tip to women that don't know how to use a color corrector properly. And since like Liquid VO2 is gold, how do you actually use the color corrector under your eyes? Because there's different tips and tricks now, but like basic way of using it. And then should you top it off with another another corrector on top after that? Like, let's say I have nothing on my skin. I'm getting ready and I need to go to work. Where should I begin with your color corrector?
Apply it so it has a little brush tip, and you could literally, depending on how much you want to use.
I'm
don't
brown. I
be
got
shy.
those dark circles.
So if you have dark circles, don't be shy. You can make a full triangle V filled in, and let it set for like maybe 30 seconds.
That's a hack though, right?
It's a
The
hack,
setting?
yes.
Okay.
So it actually gives you more coverage, and it helps like with the blendability. You use either your fingers or we have a 202 brush. It acts like a finger, but it's like you stipple and you just dab it on all over, and you can use it on your eyelid too.
Okay.
So you'll see instantly the entire face is brightened. So from there, you can either just go if it matches and blends in with your skin tone, and if not, you can put a high coverage concealer or any foundation concealer right on top and set it with powder, and it will last. It's amazing when you set it with powder.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Those are great tips. Feel like something that and as you age, beauty changes too, right? And I think we were talking about this in another episode where you don't need that much makeup,
Less is
and
more, yeah.
good skincare and a good everyday routine is where it's at. And that's where women are now gravitating towards too, just grab and go products, which I love the fact that you guys are so accessible and that there's an everyday woman behind it, and that I get to see myself in other women. There's representation out there. I'm going to end with maybe 2 questions. Okay. So I feel like you guys are a legacy brand. That's how I feel. And I'm pretty sure that's very true considering how long you've been in the business. When you think about leaving a legacy for Vasanti, and this is like 20 years out, okay? You both are sitting in your little chairs, okay? Gray hair and all, no matter how many beauty products we have. And you're reflecting back on your life in Vasanti. Where has it come to at that time? Where would you like to leave it behind? What does it mean 20 years from now? I know it's a loaded question.
For me, I don't know. I feel like just kind of like how you talked about it was so like heartwarming for me. It almost made me tear up to say that, hey, we were pioneers. Like we sometimes don't think of it like that, and that we showed other women that you could do it, and that, you know, especially through sisterhood, through friendship, through family support. Like these are pillars of what we want women to see and know that, hey, you can really come out with and compete in the mainstream, being South Asian, being a minority, and show up for other people and inspire other people. I feel like that's so wonderful for
What
me.
a beautiful
I
message.
agree with that. Absolutely. You can come from a underrepresented, demographic, and you can still dream big. You can, put yourself out there and go for it, and you can achieve your dreams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're true. You're here standing and you inspire so many women. I think we get caught up running the business, doing the business, that you said you almost forgot your pioneers. If you take me back to my first memory of Vasanti and even hearing, I mean, what an incredible honor to say you've been in business for so long, but the evolution of what you've seen change and to change with it and to be like, wow, we were the pioneers and we continue to be here. So kudos to you guys. That's clap for me.
thank
Like,
you so
much.
honestly, I'm so always blessed to see you guys and just constantly in awe and inspired of everything that you guys do. And I think mostly it's like the messaging, the sisterhood, it shows. Like it really, really shows. I mean, in offline, online, it's just who you guys are. So for those of you that are listening, this is a very personal conversation, but also rooted in so much meaning and love. with Vasanti. And if you have never tried their products, this is your time. You better go run and go get some. And if you already have Vasanti products, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners do, they're incredible. Go give them a follow, go buy their products, support local, and just let's continue keeping that community and bridging the gap between what beauty used to be back then and what beauty is now and where it's going, because everyone is together and everyone's inclusive, and that's what Vasanti stands for. So thank you for being here today.
Oh,
my
thank you
gosh,
so
thank
much.
you so much, Emma. And thank you for all
Yes.
the support.